Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Introducing Bark in the Belly Premium Dog Food. 100% of profits go to help dogs in need.
Over 30% of adults struggle with chronic foot and joint pain, and many face mobility limitations as they age. But a revolutionary Comfort First slipper has taken the wellness world by storm. Try Cloud Slides and feel you are walking on the clouds. Cloud Slides.
There's the music. You know what time it is. Noon Eastern time, which means it is time for the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart, with your host, Cam Stewart. That's me, Zach Burke, behind the glass, keeping us on the air 5 days a week, live on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, as well as your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio. Today on the show, we are recapping an emotional night at the Garden, Brad Marchand's return, and all the tears that came with it. Plus, kind of out of nowhere, the Celtics open maybe one of their weirdest seasons ever tonight against one of their biggest rivals, the Philadelphia 76ers. Could that rivalry become a bit of a rivalry again with Jason Tatum out for the season, we think? And we will take a look at the big controversy, the uniform controversy in the sports world. Colorado and Carolina becoming Quebec and Hartford and facing off against each other. Is that right? It doesn't feel like that's right. Myself and Zach will break that down and give you the definitive best throwback jerseys being worn in the sports right now. We got a couple Mount Rushmores and all kinds of debate coming up on this episode of the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. But we start where we start, and that is always, what are we talking about around Boston today? The talk around Boston sports today is Brad Marchand and that unbelievable tribute he got last night from the Bruins and his truly unbelievable reaction to it. Because while it is the most overused word in the English language, I did not expect the way Brad Marchand reacted to be the actual way that he reacted. He gets this long tribute video that, shout out to ESPN, they get rid of a commercial break just so we can watch it, what's going on in the arena, and then gets this thunderous ovation that I wasn't sure if it was going to let up. And Brad Marchand is sitting there in tears as this is happening, like legit, real tears on the bench and saluting the crowd. Like that, to me, I don't think I've ever seen that. Not like a guy getting his number retired, not a retirement ceremony, but a guy who was coming back and actually playing in a game. Like he had a point already to that point. He had an assist in the first minute of the game. But I don't think I've ever seen a guy get this emotional during a game and continue to go on like that. So it really is. It was emotional for everyone in the building. I was getting emotional watching it on TV. I might have had some tears running down a little bit. Like, this is a dude who clearly didn't want to leave. Obviously, not enough to accept whatever the lowball Bruins offer was. So he did want to, he was okay with leaving to some extent, right? But this was a guy whose entire legacy came through the Bruins. And, it's not like Brad Marchand was the number one pick in the draft, generational prospect. Like, the Bruins really did take a shot on him. And 15 years after he makes his NHL debut in that building, he comes back for the first time as a visitor in the NHL. It's tough to not get emotional about that, right? It's tough to not get emotional. But to see Brad Marchand in tears, like big puppy-eyed dog tears coming down his face in the middle of a game, I've never seen it, man. And good for him for just letting it cut loose, letting him be the way he is, man. I know some, Adam Jones and EEI is like, oh, he's crying. Yeah, that's a super edgy take, bro. Super edgy take. Yeah. I mean, just what a moment. One of the great moments at TD Garden. And what's unfortunate is it's not, it is one of the great moments in that building, but it's not a playoff game. It's not a playoff winning goal. It's nothing like that. It's one of the faces of your franchise in the last 20 years coming back in a different uniform. And I think that's really the takeaway from the night is like, it was emotional. It was tear-jerking. There was all kinds of emotions flying around that building. I'll use that word for the 10 billionth time in this segment. But I think the emotion that people walked out with was being pissed. Because what that was an example of last night is how much the Bruins have fallen, in a way. That the games we get excited for are not playoff matchups. They're not games against original six teams. They're not big rivalry games. It's for when our great players come back and play in a different uniform. And I'm sure the only one who wasn't basking in that moment for Brad Marchand last night was Don Sweeney. Brad Marchand's crying, and I'm sure Don Sweeney's saying, shit, don't cry. Come on, don't cry. That makes me look all the more worse. And again, I fault Don Sweeney for a lot of things. I don't fault him for this deal. But now all the Bruins fans are just sitting there thinking, look at what this guy took away from us. Brad Marchand should be retiring a Bruin. I'm sure 17,565 in the building last night thought exactly that way. And it's just the ultimate sign of where the Bruins are at right now. I said this game could go one of two ways. Either you get this galvanizing win that galvanizes you for 3 days, or you see how big this Brad Marchand thing is, and you get even more pissed at Don Sweeney. And to top it all off, you lose in the most comical way you could have possibly lost, right? You get this dramatic goal from Morgan Geekie, who's had an awful season so far, ties the game on a 6-on-5 with just over a minute left. And it's like, yeah, man, that's our galvanizing moment right there. But then, 30 seconds later, the Panthers score on this just ridiculous goal. They miss the net or hit the post, then miss the net, and it goes off of Andrew Peake's stick and into a wide open net like no one's even there. Just the most comical way possible of like, this is where we're at right now. We spend the beginning of the game paying tribute to one of our all-time greats coming in a different uniform, winning a Stanley Cup with a different team, and we end the night by showing you just how good we can be at tanking. Because it looks like the tank is on. Like, those are the kind of bounces you get when you are tanking, brothers and sisters. Right? You come back to tie the game. It's this great comeback. You were down 2-0, then down 3-2. You still make the comeback and get it to 3-3, and then you lose off that deflection. Off a puck that has no business going into the net. And Andrew Peake is none the wiser, man. That's the kind of bounces you get when it's supposed to be your year in the draft lottery, not your year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. 5 straight losses, and the tank is very much on go. But I think as a Bruins fan, you can't help but feel the worst of it all last night. Not only the tank is on, but that you shouldn't have to be paying tribute to these guys. And honestly, my prevailing thought was, are we going to have to do this with David Pastrnak in a couple of years? Like, is that going to be the case? Are they going to fall so much farther that David Pasternak's not going to want to play here anymore because he wants to win? Wants to win a Stanley Cup? Wants even a chance to win the Stanley Cup? And in 6 years, are we going to have a tribute video for him as he's coming in wearing some other sweater? That would be devastating again for the Bruins. Devastating. But you do have to wonder, this is a dude who is one of the best offensive players in this league. And he's in his prime, and he's on a heck of a contract when you look at some of the other guys now, like McDavid, like Kaprizov, obviously. And he's got to be thinking, when do I start winning again here? When do I have a chance to win here? You know, I'm 29 years old. I'm one of the best damn players in the league. I haven't won a Stanley Cup, and I'm nowhere near one right now. So you think it's emotional for Brad Marchand? Like, think of what it would be for David Pastrnak, who didn't get to win one here. Would be devastating. And that's my biggest fear, is that this is not the last time we see a Bruins legend, a guy who is at the top of all the Bruins offensive categories and is going to have his number retired one day, coming back to Boston in a different uniform and sobbing on the ice because he wanted to win it here. That is my fear after watching that last night. But let me know what it was for you. Give me your emotions. How are you feeling about Don Sweeney today after that? Let me know in the comment section below. Then be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you every weekday live at high noon Eastern time, and then we're available wherever you get your podcasts as well as your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio here on the Wicked Boston Show. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the season opener that has snuck up on everybody. Will Celtics Sixers actually be a bit of a rivalry again for 1 year? Let's talk about it next on the Wicked Boston Show. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scorer to anytime TD props, or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. New customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code CAMSHOW. That's code CAMSHOW to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite. We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Welcome back to the Wicked Boston Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeping us on the air, as he does, 5 days a week, live on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts as well. So if you're enjoying the content, you need a little lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you get notified every time we're going live and dropping our segments as well. We've talked about Brad Marchand and his return and what that could mean for the Bruins fan base right now and for David Pastrnak down the future. But there is another team that plays in TD Garden, and they will be playing tonight, which comes as a bit of a surprise to some people. But yes, the Celtics are actually opening the season tonight. They will actually play this season, even though Jason Tatum won't. And it's bizarre. It's bizarre. We're just not getting a ton of buzz around Boston right now around the Celtics. You know, they're season removed from an NBA title, one of the great teams of all time. And their season starts tonight against Philly, a rival, and there's just not much hype around it. And that is weird to me. And I understand this is going to be a very odd season for the Celtics, right? But it's kind of the perfect storm right now. You know, the Bruins are not going to play many important games this year, but they played one last night, right? And that was circled on the calendar. The Red Sox were playing baseball in October of this year for the first time in 4 years. And the Patriots are good for the first time in 6 years. They're like actually good with hope for the future. So kind of lost in the fold in that is that a Jason Tatum-less Celtics team is about to start the city tonight. Not to say the Celtics don't have any buzz at all in the city right now. It's just that opening night is kind of creeping up on everybody. Oh, that's tonight? They're starting already? God, I've been in Patriots mode. I've been in Red Sox mode. I guess I got to switch. But what could be interesting, though, is seeing this matchup tonight, Celtics 76ers, at a couple more important turns during this season. Because last year, and the year before, to be quite frank, last year especially, the Sixers were nowhere near the Celtics. Nowhere near them. And even when they have been near them or better than them in years past, the Celtics always win. They always win, right? This has not been much of a rivalry in that sense. But this year could be a little different, right? No Tatum on the Celtics side. We're already talking about some injury concerns with Jaylen Brown. Short-term injury concerns. But not having Tatum out there this season certainly levels the playing field a little bit. The Celtics are still better, but could these two teams be playing for play-in spots, playoff spots in the Eastern Conference? I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy for these guys to be playing meaningful games down the stretch against each other and possibly even seeing them in the play-in tournament, which would be perfectly poetically Celtics if that's the only time they don't beat the Sixers is for the play-in and the Sixers get in and lose to somebody as the 8 seed and the Celtics get a draft day steal and continue this whole thing they've got going here. That would be perfect poetically Celtics. But if you look at the teams and their projections this year, the Celtics, the ESPN Celtics over-under win total is 45.6. Phillies is 42.5. So two teams that are going to be hovering around 500, maybe a little bit better. And they're two 500 teams that actually hate each other, that actually do not like each other. And so I sit here and I say, big if, upcoming, big if. But if Joel Embiid can play half a season this year, they're competitive. Half a season. That's all I'm asking. Well, I don't really care if they're competitive or not, but you know what I mean. Now, he hasn't done that in 2 seasons now. He hasn't done it since he won the MVP in 22-23. He hasn't played half a season. But this has to be the most important year of his career. It has to be. If he's not playing half the games this year, he's done. He should retire. And so that means these games should mean something. The Celtics, as much as I like, Derek White and Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard, like they're going to struggle, I think, to get to 45 wins. The East is open still because Halliburton's hurt, and I don't know what the heck the Knicks are doing. The Knicks are a better team on paper than the Celtics this year, but I don't know what they're doing with the whole coaching front office situation and what that cap is going to look like in a year or two with them. But you talk about the Celtics being a 45-win team. Okay, that's probably still got them 5th in the Eastern Conference, 6th. And if they're any lower than that, then they're battling for a playoff spot. If Philly is going to get something out of Joel Embiid, get some tune out of that guitar, I don't think they're going to get much out of Paul George. And maybe some key contributions from VJ Edgecombe, the rookie making his NBA debut tonight, Baylor Bear. Then maybe they are battling for a playoff spot. But it shows how the mighty have fallen when the ESPN write-up for that over-under says, man, it's going to be a tough loss for the Sixers not having dominant front court presence Gershon Yabusele there this year. That's never a position that you want to be in as a team going into an NBA season, saying, damn, if only we had Gershon Yabusele, then we'd be fine. But this is a nice little opportunity if you're Philly to be like, hey, we can get at the Celtics this year, and it could be a building block. It could be something that we have some pride in because we never freaking beat the Celtics. Never, ever, 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 ever. Like, there is not two competitive teams over the last decade where one just owns the other quite like the Celtics over the 76ers. Like, you can take you could take Golden State over some trash-ass Western Conference team. Like, yeah, I'm sure Golden State has owned Portland the last decade, right? The Celtics crushed the Hornets the last decade, sure. But I'm talking about two teams that make the playoffs that are usually competitive, two teams that have been picked to win NBA titles in the last 10 years. No one has been more of a daddy than the Celtics have been to the 76ers. That could change. That could change for just this 1 year. But it could be fascinating and could be exactly what the NBA wants to see these two teams battling for playoff spots in the Eastern Conference towards the end of the year. Now, if you're the Celtics, do you want that? I don't know. Even Barstool Greeny came on here and said, it's probably best to just be in the lottery this year. Get another legit cheap weapon for the Jays next year when they're both healthy and going for it. So that is going to be fascinating to see kind of the first iteration of it tonight and see the Celtics back out on the floor, because I don't know how to pick this team. I don't think any of the experts know how to pick this team. Obviously, there's still some good talent at the top with Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Derek White, my favorite player on the Celtics for sure. But like, your centers are Neemias Queta and Luka Garza. Ooh, that leaves a lot to be desired. Anthony Simons, man, he can give you 16 or 18 a night, but he's going to give up more than that on the defensive end. So I don't know how many nights he's going to be a plus player at 16, 17 points a game, which is damning. So we will see. I think it's still a playoff team. I think there's still a chance that they are a home court playoff team, but any kind of injury, significant injury to Jaylen Brown or Derek White, at that point, you're saying punt it, man. Just punt it. Start Baylor Shireman. Just get in the lottery at this point. I think we're all confident that they will be a good team the year after when Jason Tatum comes back. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Could we get this rivalry back going just a little bit and make it something more of a rivalry again? Let me know in the comment section below. And then be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want more Boston sports content every day. It's right here, your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio here on The Wicked Boston Show. When we come back, we'll be talking about an egregious example of stolen valor coming up in the NHL. Throwback uniforms, have they gone too far? We'll also give you the best ones that we have in every sport. It's coming up next on The Cam Show. Wicked.
Circulon C1 Series Clad with Scratch Defense Non-Stick. Maximize cooking, minimize cleaning. Discover the unmatched durability and elegance scratch-free, worry-free, forever.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Welcome to Market XLS, your all-in-one Excel solution for investors. Designed as an enterprise-grade platform, Market XLS caters to investment managers, secure and efficient investment management and research. Book your free demo.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops made clean, made to clean.
Back here on the Wicked Boston Show, brought to you by Rogue Media Network and hosted by myself, Cam Stewart. Before we get into the stolen valor thing, I did get an interesting update. I'm not taking a victory lap here, but I said and got a lot of publicity around it back in June that I would hate it if the Bruins took Brady Martin with the number 7 pick in the draft. He ended up going 5th overall, 5th to Nashville. So it did not get to Boston, which I was like, thank God. Don Sweeney could not be trusted with that pick. And I got dragged for it in the comments. And then Brady Martin was the number 1 center to start the year for Nashville. And now he has been assigned back to the OHL in Sault Ste. Marie. I'm just glad the Bruins didn't pick him. I hope he turns out fine. But yeah, I was kind of right about that one for now. And I would love to see James Hagan's development in the NCAA. He's more than a point a game through 4 games this year. So anyway, let's keep it on the topic of hockey, but mainly on the topic of stolen valor. That's all I can say about what is going to happen Thursday night when the Colorado Avalanche host the Carolina Hurricanes. Or, as they are putting it, the Quebec Nordique are hosting the Hartford Whalers. This Thursday. You don't want to miss it. You see, they've even got the 2 uniforms out there. And look, these uniforms are great, but to me, this is a bit too far. So I'm going to bring in Zach Burke, our esteemed producer here, and someone who has a very intimate relationship with this exact kind of thing. Zach, are you in an airport right now? What is going on?
Yes, I am actually. No, here's the thing. I was trying to get like the best and not use my laptop camera. And this one keeps going in and out, but it does give the lighting of like I'm waiting for to be called back to the doctor. So that's the only thing. But
with that too.
No,
so, Zach, you have a unique kind of disposition here in that you were a Houston Oilers fan, and then the Oilers leave. There we go. The Oilers fan, then they leave, they go to Tennessee, and you're now a Texans fan. Obviously, as being a fan of the football team from Houston. And now the Titans, a couple times a year, will bust out those Oiler uniforms, and they'll wear them against the Texans. And I'm not going to lie to you, that doesn't sit right with me. How does it sit with you?
It infuriates me to absolutely no end. Like,
did you have to buy that? Did you have to buy that shirt from the Tennessee Titans?
I think I got it off Fanatics, but I'm sure it probably did come through them.
Man.
No. So like, actually, I didn't have to. This was a gift. I was thinking about this was a gift.
That's
so I didn't have to. Yeah, no, that's totally fine then. But it is one of those things of where it used to frustrate me a lot, just because it felt like, and Mike and I have had this discussion a couple times, but
Mike, by the way, who was an Oilers fan and became a Titans fan. So very different ends of the spectrum.
So we are both on the same path, and then we diverged. And now we just hate against each other. I don't think, to me, and this is part of it too, and it's honestly, I think we've had this conversation before a little bit with teams like the Supersonics and the Thunder for claiming their championship.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I can't stand it one bit. You're not the Houston Oilers anymore. You're the Tennessee Titans. At least the franchise was in Houston. There is a franchise that's in Houston that the city of Houston still loves and treats as their own, kind of like they did, with the Oilers that were there. I just feel like it's more of it belongs to the city than it belongs to the team is kind of my outlook on it. So I understand that the Avalanche, Mike's just sitting here I understand that the Avalanche and the Hurricanes were formerly these teams. I get that. So I understand the relationship there. But when you move, you are no longer those teams. The Whalers belong to Hartford, and then the Nordiques belong to Quebec.
And like we understand the legality of it, right? That's not the issue. We get that they own that, but you had your chance to be the Whalers. It would have been weird, but you could have been the Carolina Whalers, right? You could have been I guess they were the Tennessee Oilers for a little bit.
They were for a bit, and
which is weird, but like you had your chance. You decided that's not what we want to be. And so it is kind of weird. Like, and here's where I get kind of splitting hairs with it. If you want to do once a year, like they used to do, once a year, you dress up as the Whalers. Whatever. Fine. We actually had on the show last year the president of the Whalers fan club. And
I remember that. Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we actually like it. Like we do. For one night a year, our team is playing and they invite us to the games. Like that is kind of a nice way to do it. But this feels over the top when you do, both of these teams are going to do it. They're going to play against each other, and they're just promoting it like, oh, isn't this fun? Isn't this cool? These two cities that are never going to have an NHL franchise ever again, and we took that from them. But now it's funsies, like little Halloween thing. We'll just dress up as the Whalers. We'll dress up as the Nordique, and it's this fun thing. Like, that's where I get bugged.
Yeah, no, I get that too. It's like
feels over the top.
It does. And like, even if they both wanted to, because in the NFL, a lot of times, both teams will wear retro jerseys on the same day. Funny enough, when I was looking up mine, when we get into it, which by the way, finding pictures that are JPEGs nowadays is apparently
it's
just
tough.
hard. Yeah,
it's very difficult.
Don't know when that happened. Yeah. Don't know when we started making up file formats for pictures. But
shout out to AVIFs.
That's the one that drives me crazy. But and so they'll wear them against each other. I'm fine if they want it to come out and, like you said, kind of like, hey, we're both going to wear our throwbacks where it's going to look cool. Maybe we'll even have like an old, throwback night. Don't brand it though, because last time I checked, are you playing in Quebec or Hartford? No,
you're not.
So why are you going to pretend to be those teams? Like, again, wear them. You can even have a retro night. It's cool. We're doing it, but you're still the Colorado Avalanche. You're still the Carolina Hurricanes.
It's a principle thing here, because let me just go out and say this. Let me just go out and say this. When they do this on Thursday, it's going to look fantastic.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
They're two grade A uniforms. Like I love them both. And so I'm going to get caught up in it. I'll probably buy one of them, like I like them, and I don't mind you doing like a throwback set, but like you said, to then put them up against each other, it just feels a little forced. And especially with how hard Quebec City has been fighting to have another NHL franchise, it's never going to happen, unfortunately, because it's just too small, but it's a heck of a hockey town. Hartford, same thing. It's an okay hockey town, but it was also way too small. And so like, they're not like the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets tried forever and they ended up getting their franchise back. Seattle will probably get an NBA franchise again. I don't doubt that'll happen.
I think whenever expansion comes around, like that's for sure going to be
the one. Like, but these guys aren't going to get it. And there's going to be more expansion in the NHL. They want 36 teams, which is nuts, absolutely crazy. Yeah. And those new franchises are not going to go to Quebec or Hartford. And so that sucks. That sucks that then this is thrown in your face of like, hey, here's what it could have been. And these are two of the best teams in the NHL right now. Isn't that funny? They've each won Stanley Cups. Like, but now we're gonna dress up like you. I don't know. And it's weird to a fan base, to a certain extent, to your own fan base, I should say, of like, hey, we don't really want to be the Hurricanes tonight. We don't want to be the Avalanche tonight. By the way, Avalanche have a great uniform.
They do.
Great uniform.
I mean, and here's the thing. They're at a point, and maybe this is me being naive, obviously, for not being as big a hockey fan as everybody else, but I feel like they've been around long enough as like an organization. Like, they were the Avalanche when I was a kid. Like,
yeah, they've been around 30 years. Like,
I get that you were the Nordiques, but you have so much history and Stanley Cup wins as the Avalanche.
Way more history as the Colorado Avalanche, by the way. Like, that is something huge. If you're the Avalanche, you're like, why are we going back to that? Like, why are we doing that? There's still people who bring up every time the Patriots wear their great red throwbacks, there are people who are like, why do we go back to this? We sucked in these uniforms forever. And so if there are people doing that for the Patriots, certainly it's not even apples to at least they made a Super Bowl in that. The Nordique, I think, won one playoff series, and same with the Whalers. And what I don't like too is this isn't a one-off. They've already announced they're going to do it again when they play in Carolina in January. And the Whalers, the Hurricanes, are going to wear those sweaters 3 times this year. And the Avs are going to wear the Nordique sweaters 7 times this year. 7 times. Like, that's where I'm like, now you are just sucking every last nickel out of this for something that you didn't come up with and that you actually actively took away. Now there's a line of Nordique gear that you can buy in the Colorado Avalanche team store. And it's like, okay, now you're legitimately profiting off something that you weren't creative enough to come up with, and that you decide, not even just that you decided was not good enough for your branding, that you were like, we'll do something else. Because I say not good enough, like, I actually think the Hurricanes have, or used to have, good uniforms, and the Avalanche do have good uniforms. And they're like, nah, we're just gonna suck the tit of these old teams that we ripped out of their cities 30 years ago. So yeah, I don't like it. Do you have any last thoughts on this in particular before we go into our favorites?
No, I'm kind of with you there too. I don't understand why then so much of, and we talked about that Colorado has more history. Like, I get that it's cool for the fans in a way, but just have it, like, wear the throwbacks. You don't need to make a giant big deal out of it in a way. Like, I
mean, teams used to like sell throwback jerseys without even wearing them.
Yeah,
like, you used to be able to buy a Patriots red jersey in the years that they weren't wearing them. Like, you could just do I mean, you could have bought a Tom Brady one when they weren't even wearing them. Like, you can also do that. And they've had plenty of chances with reverse retro, and Carolina did do the Whalers. The Avs really didn't. They did a Nordique style, but it was with the Avs colors, and that didn't look great. Anyway, so that sparked this in me, because we both love throwback uniforms. That's why, like, that's how you know they're just taking it a little too far, because we both love throwback uniforms. What I wanted to do is we each do our own Mount Rushmore of our favorite throwback uniforms that teams are wearing now. That's an important caveat of this, something that teams have worn in the last 2-3 seasons.
I'm going to say on this, for most of them, let me go first, just because I don't, well, no, just because I don't have pictures on all of these, because of the task of trying to find something that is not, like, I'm trying to convert some to JPEG right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that way, since you were obviously the more prepared of the two, we'll have, things that you can present with yours. So
do you want to go your 4, then my 4, or sport by sport? Would that help if we did sport by sport?
Let's do sport by sport, because I do have some of them. Just tell me what one you want it to start with.
You go ahead. You go ahead and start.
Okay.
We're going to start here.
So
each of the 4 major.
Yeah. Then I'm going to start with football, because I do have one for that. I just have to find where it saved it. But I thought back and forth about this a lot. I wanted to do, there was one that you brought up about when we were talking before the show started, of the Seahawks. And that was the one for the longest time. I love that silver and blue. I think of like Ricky Waters, Sean Springs. I love that look. Yeah, no, I'm old. A Benny Blades, like, I just think of like those early 90s, and I love those looks.
Steve Largent.
Exactly. That's what I was going to go with. And then I realized that the Seahawks are actually wearing them, or wore them, against this team, or maybe, no, I'm sorry. And then I was looking, and I found out that the team that I did pick is actually wearing them this weekend against the Cowboys, is who they play.
Okay.
And that team is the Denver Broncos. I know. No, here's the thing.
No, that's good.
I know that this is a divisive one. I know a lot of people, for some reason, don't love the creamsicle jerseys of the Tampa Bay Bucks. I do. This is another one too that it encapsulates just a time and an era. And I think of John Elway. I think of, like,
heard of him,
Shannon Sharp. I think of Terrell Day, even though that's kind of the switch. We're getting into the more current one, but I just think, or even like, getting so close, the drive, never getting anyway. I have always loved, since I was a kid, that blue and orange together, even though I can't stand it with Florida uniforms usually. for the Denver Broncos, these right here have always been some of my favorites. And the fact that they're wearing them this weekend, I had to go ahead and pick them. So that is my pick on my current favorite.
That's a
retro
good
look in the
pick.
NFL.
That's a good pick. Of course, if I had to pick a Broncos one, it would be the brown and gold one.
You like those?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No,
those in the early, and the early Packers ones that are like blue and brown.
Yeah, those are
hideous.
stupid. Yeah, those are stupid. This was a tough one for me, NFL wise, because I did think of that Seahawks one. I just think those are perfect colors for Seattle. I just think it's great. The other one that kind of held me up was the Eagles Kelly Green.
Yes.
And now credit to the NFL. They're like, everyone has them now. Everyone does throwback uniforms. And the Eagles, I actually grew to really like the kind of the colors that they have now. When I was a kid, I didn't. But I think it's a good uniform that they've had. I mean, now it's been 25 years that they wear now. But the Kelly Green was fantastic. But of course, the way I had to go, like genuinely, this would probably be my favorite anyway, despite the bias, is the Patriots red, white, and blue. The red theme, right? With the Pat Patriot helmet. Had to find a picture that also had the helmet on it. Helmet's perfect. Logo's perfect. All white, face mask, everything. Like, just no notes. Same stripe on the pants as it is on the helmet. Red, white, and blue. Can't fuck it up. But I just think even now with the Nike uniforms, the red pops so much better.
I will give you that. Yeah. No, I do love
the blue
these.
trim around it, like so much better. And it's funny, they're not even my favorite Patriots throwbacks, but they don't wear the 90s ones, which is damn unfortunate. I think those are the best. And people talked about when they switched from red to blue, it was because the Patriots' opponent in the Revolutionary War wore blue. And so I get it. And they've had good uniforms since then, but I don't really care anymore. This red kicks ass. And I wouldn't mind if they went back to it, or at least did a throwback version of the white uniform, which also pops big time with red numbers and kind of a blue trim. Fantastic. That is my pick for the NFL.
I got you. Let's go. We'll go hockey next. I don't have it because all I could find was a JFIF or AVIF, but it is from this year and it is from my team. And I'm going to count. I love the Senators alts this year. I know it's technically not, but to me, looking at it, it looks just like with the red and like the old school logo. And I do love that. I wish it were, I like the black where it was just like all black with that, but I still love that retro look. So I am completely here for the red with the old. I know, sorry, my mic went. I know that that's me being a homer, but
I just did it. So.
I get it, but it's like, I don't know. There's something that can be so, I'll admit this. For me, NHL does this better than any other sport. There is something that can be so good about a uniform that is so simple. Like you don't have to go and do all these cool color combos. You can keep it simple and classic and it looks so good. And that is essentially like what I think of when I look at these. And a lot of the NFL or the NHL jerseys is they're so good at being able to like keep them like classic and still add little tweaks here and there, but nobody else, none of the other sports leagues are able to do it to the same level the NHL usually does.
Yeah, I like Ottawa's black, white throwbacks so much, man. So much. And they are another classic example of a long list of examples of a team that should be wearing white at home. Okay. Like that would kick ass. I think the Bruins should be doing it. I think the Blackhawks should be doing it. I think the Red Wings should be doing it. Pretty much everybody in the NHL. Like that rule should change again and make them wear white at home. Maybe that's just me. For the NHL one, I am going for one that they've worn this year and that they've released this year, and one that I really want to get. I'm so excited for it. It's the Minnesota Wild's 25th anniversary, and they are bringing back this original uniform. Now, by itself, this look of the front here, I love it. Okay. The logo, I've never been wild on the Minnesota logo.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. I've never loved the name or the logo. I think they could have just done much better. But if I had to pick their logos, this is the most prevailing one, and I do think it's the best one. But I just love how early 2000s it is too, with how thick the piping is on the side and the legit glitter gold piping and the glitter gold numbers on the side. But what really puts this over the top for me is actually the back of the uniform. I love those
That looks
numbers,
nice.
man.
That looks
And
really nice.
I used to, whenever I made a team in the NHL video games and you
Mhm.
could design their uniform, I always made them with these numbers because I just think it looks so sick. That's where I'm like, okay, you're doing something fun with the Wild name, which doesn't lend itself to a lot. So I am probably going to be getting this exact one, a Kirill Kaprizov one, because 97 is a sick number, and it just looks awesome. So it's one of those again that's going to pop even more in kind of HD television because I didn't wear these in HD eras, and now we're watching it in 4K. Like that red, gold, green together like that pops like hell. So that is my NHL pick, the Minnesota Wild 25th anniversary jersey, uniform, sweater.
Jersey, uniform. It all works. I like
Yeah.
that. I'm trying to find, I had it earlier and it's not working now. My NBA one, I had a very lovely picture of the man sporting it that,
okay.
To show it off for this year, a man who I think his best days might be a little bit behind him, but still, it was Playoff P sporting the Philadelphia 76ers retro looks this year, which is, I can't have it because he's all like
the AI
trying to look hard. It's the AI. It's the early thousands. It's the all black.
For those of you new to this, that did used to stand for Allen Iverson.
That's true. Who is it? Is it Andre Iguodala then?
No, it's just artificial intelligence now.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, see, I just think in a sports concept. Yeah. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Those are great, by the way. I almost picked those, but I didn't.
Yes.
I didn't want two Philly ones, which is gonna kind of spoil one of the other ones I have.
But it's just there's something. It has the Sixers with the basketball swoosh underneath it. Here we go, and it just. I mean, it's what I think of at my time when like I watched the NBA. AI. There we go. Yeah. Was wearing those. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the colors might pop a little bit more now, but it's essentially the same recreation.
So
but that's Allen Iverson. That's Eric Snow. That's like, it's early 2000s NBA. And
early 2000s to a T.
Yes. And I think that for me to appreciate retro jerseys are my favorites. It's the ones that kind of make me reminisce and think about like that point in time that you're going for. And this very much feels like I'm not going to, spoil yours, but I know what it is. It's very much in the same lieu of yours too, that it just defines that kind of era of basketball. Like I see that jersey and there is one player I absolutely think of in those. So, and it's the three there for AI, and with yours, it's the one person too, but it just encapsulates that time. So I love that.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to go same thing, early 2000s. And a lot of teams around sports went with black at that time. And it was, I thought, great at the time. Now we get a little too monochromatic. And that's why we're bringing them back. So I'm going with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I wouldn't do two Philly, but I will do two Minnesota. I just love, there's actually not like a ton to this. When you think about it, it's just Timberwolves written out, which first off, unique as hell, like that name.
Very true.
One's ever going to do the Timberwolves. No one's done that like ever. So I love kind of the font with it. I also love the tree design going on the collar and the sleeves, which obviously they used to have on the court as well. Again, just really leaning into that. The Timberwolves also had a good one, like when they first started out, blue and green, kind of like the Seahawks. I do like that. But this, for me, Kevin Garnett, and getting traded to the Celtics, and the early days of YouTube, watching all the Kevin Garnett highlights I could before he got into his Celtics uniform. These ones, there's an interesting one with the NBA is that a lot of the great ones aren't really being worn anymore, but there are a ton of good throwbacks being worn. So that's why I have gone with Anthony Edwards in this picture in the Minnesota Timberwolves. I just think it's a cool, unique look, much like the Wild did with their numbers too. I'll bring that back up again. It's a unique look. Like nobody else is kind of doing that. So that is my pick. Shall we go to our final one of baseball?
Let's go to it. I won't have a picture. I'll just throw it out there because for some reason I couldn't find one. But I know I looked it up and I made sure they wore it as alternatives this year. There was two. I went back and forth. One of them I thought about the Blue Jays in those 92. I love the all white with the blue. Like I hate the Blue Jays. But I love those uniforms. And so I thought about those, but then I went with, funny enough, the other team they just beat to get to the World Series.
Of course you did.
And that is, I love those aqua Seattle Mariners, like the aqua tops with just the white pants, because it harkens me back to King Griffey Jr. I almost went with, because sometimes they throw in like the late 80s ones, which are that blue and yellow, which is kind of hit or miss. For some reason, it makes me think like
Some
the
people really
Milwaukee
like them,
Brewers
man.
did it better. But yeah, no, I'm all here for those aqua Mariners jerseys.
So there's a lot. So Seattle went aqua, but there's a ton that have gone powder blue, especially in like the 80s, and they're all kind of being brought back. And this is funny because I hate this team's regular home uniform. I think it sucks. And I don't like their logo necessarily, their real logo, but they did powder blue better than anybody else because of the contrast it had to their other color. And that is the Philadelphia Phillies with that almost such a deep red. It's almost maroon going to it. I know Pete's worn this jersey plenty of times. It's obviously known for Mike Schmidt, one of the most underrated players ever, by the way, but that just works perfect. The powder blue for Milwaukee was good, right? With the cursive, with the Blue Jays was good. It kind of had that center logo for a pullover. I like that. The Royals are probably most known for it, but to me, this one sticks off the page. And I hate their home uniform. I hate red pinstripes, and I hate that they still do it. But I love their road uniform because of the way that color pops. And with this one, to me, perfect.
That is probably my favorite Phillies uniform, and I think that I'm with you. I like the maroon for Philly more than that red that they do have now. So I like the red. Yeah, no, it works better with so much other. Even you talked about the red pinstripes, the maroon pinstripes look better. Like,
yeah, and
I'm
like
not
they
big
do,
on
like
it,
they
but
do the other throwbacks they've done for years are those like cream colored ones without the pinstripes.
Yeah.
And that looks so much better, like infinitely much better. And I don't know why they don't just convert to that full time as their home uniform. Anybody not named the Yankees doing pinstripes, you're doing yourself a disservice. So, and some of them look good, like the Padres one looks good, but you're just doing yourself a disservice by doing that. There's no reason that you have to buy into that. So anyway, those are our Mount Rushmores. We've run out of time.
Can I have
go real quick?
25 seconds.
Yeah.
NBA on NBC. Quit trying to promote that Michael Jordan is going to be some big thing. You essentially had Mike Tirico talk to him for 2-3 hours, and every week on the broadcast, you're going to play 3 minutes. He's not talking about current players. He's not talking about things happening in the NBA. Last night, he told a story of when the last time he shot a basketball was. It was at a Ryder Cup, making a free throw. Oh, that's great. Now I'll have to wait to listen to him talk about load management next week.
What a waste. What a waste of money.
Is you have him, and you could have done so much more. And that's what you're presenting. It just came up during halftime of the Rockets and Thunder game last night, which I watched to see my team lose, but still, I just had to get that out. I'm good now. Okay. Thank you.
We might talk more about that at some point as the season goes on, because certainly I'll come and see it. And I think it's stupid too. But thank you to Zach. Let us know what your Mount Rushmore is in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, find us here tomorrow, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcast. This has been and will be tomorrow, The Wicked Boston Show.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.